Good evening everybody, hello and welcome to West Coast Mainline South 2019 Timetable PC Mod. We will be kicking off at 20:30 by your station clock on the screen, so you've got about 9 minutes to get your drinks and light refreshments ready.
Mind's the gap between the train and the platform. Mind's the gap.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is your 5-minute boarding call, 5 minutes until departure of this dead rail stream on the West Coast Mainline 2019 Virgin Train Special Timetable.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes.
This is an announcement for passengers waiting for the 2030 Dad stream. Virgin Trains regret to announce that due to a oversight by the driver, this train will be approximately 3 minutes late departing. We apologise for any delay and inconvenience, and you cannot claim delay repay compensation.
Please remember how the yellow line is all trains.
Hello everybody, good evening and welcome. How are we all doing today? Richard here from Dadrail. If this does happen to be the first stream or video you've seen by me, then I'm Richard. I'm a mainline freight train driver, former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. All the views and opinions expressed within this video are solely my own, may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. This is my house, this is my family, this is my lovely wife. Come on in and join the party. That's what it's all about here. It's all about having a bit of a laugh. It's a nice casual sort of stream. Who have we got in tonight? Lawrence Adams, Leo Lowe, Great Western Photography, Pig and Bob on the membership there. GJ, good to see you. Northern Princess Productions moderating tonight, keeping you all in check. Dave Holloway, Tower Broadway, Ollie. Heb, good evening. The Farner 101. Sorry, Train Farner 101, Daniel Carter, Ben P, Alex Dent, hello everybody, how are we all doing? Great to have you here. Okay, it is PC mod time. One of the great things that we're seeing lately in Train Sim World 5 is a really good modding community, and they're doing some excellent work, and the mod we're going to preview today is no exception. Now, unfortunately, this is only a PC mod. If you're playing on console, you can't mod the game. Which I know is a point of frustration for lots of people, but that's just where we're at. So, West Coast Mainline South 2019 Timetable mod. This features the Virgin Trains branding. It's kind of in the crossover period between Virgin Trains and Avanti. We get some free 7/8 services. We get extra freight services on there. It's basically a complete overhaul of the timetable. Add some Freightliner branded trains. Lots of bits and bobs utilising various packs. It's a very nice mod. There is a link to the mod in the description below. You can head over there and download it. And what I'm also going to do is say a big thank you to the people that have created the mod. Credits on the screen for you there now. Really important to give credit to the people that give up their free time to create these fantastic mods. So, without further ado, we are going to jump into Train Sim World 5. That is the wrong Pendolino, that is an Avanti one, and we are going to have a play. We will be doing a Locomotive Location livery as we go along today as well. And all of that sort of good stuff. So, where are we on here? West Coast Mainline South, which is actually one of my favourite routes in-game. Hey, David Drive 66 has become a member. Thank you very much, my friend. Arnold Old Calves. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there. Arnold Gone Calves. Okay. And Mel B Trains. Hello, good evening. Right, timetable. So, OTS, West Coast Mainline South, Winter 2019. Clicking on that. So straight away you can see we've got a few more options for the available trains there. We've got the 390 Virgin Trains, which will pop up. Virgin Trains delivery. We've also got the... where are we? Where's it gone? 378, right in front of me there. Okay, we're going to start off on a Pendolino run. This is probably going to be a little bit of a longer stream. It's going to be a bit of a bumper stream. So we'll start off on a Pendolino run. We'll have a go on the Pendolino. We'll do a full-length run of the route. Then we might have a go on the 378 and possibly a stopping service up. We'll see how we are doing for time. So let's go for a daytime run. Let's do a... We'll do a southbound run. I think, yeah, we'll do a southbound run. Let's full south for 37, Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. Of course, we're picking it up from Milton Keynes. Dynamic weather on. We'll keep it April. Let's jump straight in and get on with it. Harry 11, Dadrail, first order of business. Have you received your cup of tea? My son Joshua is in the kitchen and he is on it. Say hello, Joshua. Hi. There you go. No tea, no train. No tea, no train. That is how it works. Good pun, Richard. Did I make a pun? I might have done. Did I make a pun? I might have done. See, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Doesn't get any better, folks. It does not get any better. Rightio! Come on. We're loading. My other son is just about to come in the front door, so I apologise for the disruption behind me. Rightio! Here we are. Virgin Trains, Pendolino. You can see the silk liveried child with bike passing behind me. You can see the silk liveried Pendolino over there, because we're kind of 2019 is the kind of crossover phase between Avanti and Virgin. But really nice to have the Virgin train stuff in game and a full timetable mode with it running. Out of all the kind of private operators, I think Virgin Trains is probably one of my favourites. And doors on the left. Right, I haven't driven this one for a long time. You'll have to bear with me where I remember where all the buttons are. Where's the light switch? Come on, where's the light switch, people? There we go, exterior lights. Day running. And we also want to get some safety systems on the back wall behind us. There we go. Sander is normal, that's good. AWS is in, and driver safety vigilance device normal. And I think that's everything in. And I think we got TPWS temporary isolation normal as well. Excellent. Playing with full safety systems on. We'll just check they are working. We get a self-test. Okay, interesting. I've got no sound on the AWS. It's probably something I've done wrong. Is there a circuit breaker as well? There we go. We need to do the circuit breaker. Rightio, we're in business. We're in business. BMW M3 Touring, how are we doing? And we are stopper location Signal Mike Whiskey Mike 102 and then London Euston. So no Watford Junction stopover on this one. Okay, locked doors, here we go. We will do a few inside shots, outside shots, all that good stuff. We can have a look at the livery all the way down the train. Oh, I just like the Virgin Trains livery. I just think it looks really nice. Okay, into forward, that always helps. Tilt's not available. Hopefully that's going to fix itself in a few moments. There we go. Okay, come on. Like I say, I haven't driven this for a little while, so it's going to be bells and whistles all over the place. If you do need the game audio up or down, guys, absolutely give me a shout and we will do that. And we are good for 125 miles an hour all the way down to London Euston non-stop. Let's, as the British ace would say, get a flyby shot. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Melby, Virgin Trains is one of the first stocks I travelled with. Very nostalgic. I remember on the Virgin Trains Pendolinos. Hey, Anna Golowicz. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but you're very welcome here. I remember travelling on a Virgin Pendolino. I remember going in the accessible toilet and there was a sticker on the toilet seat. These might still be there, I don't know. But the sticker on the toilet seat read something like, do not flush nappies, sanitary wear, or your hopes and dreams down the toilet, or something like that, which I thought was quite good. Bit of a sense of humour. Melby game audio good, excellent. Train boy, I sent you a photo. Yes, I absolutely have it. We'll get around to using it in one of the Locomotive Livery Locations. Reese, what are your PC specs? I am running, so it's a little bit of an older machine now. We've got 32 gig of DDR4. We've got a 3090 graphics card and an i9 overclocked to about 5 gigahertz. It's, like I say, it's a little bit of an older machine now, but it still does well. FSN Rambo YT, love the 8-car 377 run from Milton Keynes to Wembley. Was in the 2019 timetable? Were the Milton Keynes services still running down to Brighton, or were they South Croydon at that time? I've got a funny feeling they might still have been Brighton then. Andrew, they're still on some of the units. Oh, Andrew, see, don't flush your ex's sweater down the. That's the one. Yeah, the stickers are still on some of the units. Nice. Rick Ashtray, smash the like button. You can do the same if you want to. Just for such a great username. Okay, so performance on this timetable is a little bit jumpy at the moment, I'm noticing. Hopefully it's going to clear itself up as we go along. Merseyrail Train Simulator Route Builder. Nice to see a real train driver playing the games. Thank you very much. I promise I'm better in real life, though, because it never really goes well on the simulator for me. What do we got coming the other way? Is that going to be an Avanti or a Virgin? Ah, it's a silk livery. Non-branded. Hey, Shawnee8787, pass out week starts tomorrow for me. Wish me luck. Best of luck, my friend. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. If you've made it this far, you must be in a pretty good place. We have tea. We have a Tigger cup today. It's got some writing on the back. It says, life is not about how fast you run or how high you can climb. But how well you... Should we try that again? Life is not about how fast you run or how high you can climb, but how well you bounce. Well, there we go. Yeah, Mel, to be fair, West Coast Mainline performance is not good at the best of times, yeah. Yeah, Tom, it's my first run on the mod. I loaded the mod up just to check it was working, to do the screenshot for the video, for the thumbnail. But yeah, other than that, this is the first run on it. So I know sometimes like the text just take a bit of time to load in and stuff, all the shaders. BMW tea duty today was Joshua. He's a run back to the kitchen all shy. He didn't bring biscuits though, so he's lost marks for that. Alex Dent, I'll be going to my nearby model shop in Lincoln. I was hoping to buy a Class 66, the ones by Hornby. I've got a couple of the Acura scale 66s, which are very nice. I did take delivery of a 4-car Anglia Flirt unit earlier on this week that I said I was going to cancel, but just happened to forget. I forgot. I'm really sorry. I forgot to cancel my order, my train order. I think I got away with it. But don't mention it again. Lawrence, Deborah, I've moved to Rye now on the same line as you. Oh, we have biscuits. The other son has brought biscuits. There are McVitie's as well, so they won't go soggy. Yeah, Lawrence, have a look on Wednesday. There will be a double-headed Class 73 with some wagons coming through on a training trip, going both ways through Rye. We're doing Tunbridge, Ashford, Rye, Hastings, Tunbridge, and then we're having a break, and then we're going around the loop the other way. Trains, is Virgin coming back? There was talk about Richard Branson wanting to run something through the Channel Tunnel, so whether that's going to be Virgin branding or not, I don't know, but it would be pretty cool to get them back. Just trying to keep up with the chat. It's getting busy as we pass through some sort of tunnel. This is not a route I sign in real life at the moment, but I am well, it's something that I might be signing in the future. Who knows? Who knows? Okie dokie, we've got 122 of you lovely, lovely people watching. So shall we play our first round of that very, very popular game? You know the one.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Let's get those numbers in the chat between 1 and 36. Guys, I'm going to pick the third number that comes up on your screen. If you've not seen the game before, you will soon get the hang of it. It's going to be a challenging one today, I think. Beautiful. And the dynamic weather doing its thing absolutely perfectly there. Right. Okay, on the numbers. Pig and Bob, you have got the third number, my friend, with number 15.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you box number 15. You've got 10 seconds to guess the locomotive livery and location of what you see underneath. Thank you very much, Daniel Carter, for sending this picture in to me. This is a little bit pixelated, this one, but I think you will be absolutely fine. Any ideas what it might be from that little snippet there? Jackson's, is there a rail tour included on this timetable mod? I believe you've got the 87 in-game, which has got a few bits and bobs with it. Once we jump out of this service, we can have a little look if you remind me. BMW's going straight in with a guess there, 170 Stansted Airport. Lawrence, you'll have to check real-time trains. I can't remember what the schedule is, but it is a daytime run. Jackson says Mark 1 coaches. Heap says no idea. Great Western Photography says it's something. Daniel says, sorry guys, what's taken as a screenshot from a video? Everyone's going to your YouTube now, Daniel, to try and find the video. Mel B's gone class 60, Merseyrail's gone 37. Trainboy's gone 800, London Paddington. These are all just random guesses now. They've got to be random guesses. Regarding rail tours there, Northern Princess Production has answered that. Yes, East Anglia Rail Tour, Milton Keynes Central to Willesden and back. Okay, let's keep a little bit of power in. Will be interested to see if they've redone the interior on this as well, because I know when we had the mod on the 5, I think it was the 5 Circle, we did get a modded interior as well. So we will need to go and have a nosy through. Andrew says DVT at King's Cross. Just munching biscuits. Hashtag biscuit rail. Okay, we have actually got, always forget, we have actually got speed set equipment on here, haven't we, we can use. If we press that button, there. And then the train will drive itself. Almost. I think we got the speed set enabled. No, we're losing speed. Maybe it didn't. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed snow brake, that's why. Okay, for some reason my TPWS temporary isolation light's on. We probably need to see if we can deal with that. Hey, Sean Desjardins! Welcome to Dead Rail. Great to have you. You pressed the snow brake. I did, Andrew. Yeah, I just realised that. We get it up to 120. And then we want that one there. Speed set. Okay. And that should hold us quite nicely. See if we can get another flyby shot. Hey Joshua, how are you doing, my friend? I'm very good. Thank you for asking. Davro, is speed set on trains like cruise control in the car? Yeah, exactly the same thing, Trainboy, really. There's only certain units that have got it, and certain companies don't allow you to use it. So I don't know what the rules were on Virgin or Avanti. I should imagine they probably were allowed to use it at higher speeds. When I was with South Eastern, we had it fitted to the trains, but we weren't allowed to use it. Harry, you've lost sound. Okay. Has everybody else got sound? I think I'm outputting sound. I think it might be a Harry problem. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat going on here about a rail tour. I have sound. Pig and Bob's got sound, and GCO 11. I'm butchering everyone's name, I know. Alex Dent, I can hear you fine. Melby Trains sound okay. Leo, I heard the AWS bell. I have sound. It's a Harry thing. It's a Harry thing. Harry problem detected. Great Western gives you some good advice there, Harry. It's got to sound like all you have to do is refresh. Joshua, I'm good, thanks, mate. I know last stream there was talk about jobs I've done. There was talk about jobs. I've done the interest registration for the Network Rail Digital and Tech Solutions degree apprenticeship. Excellent. Best of luck with them, my friend. That sounds very interesting. Yeah, Harry, if it's buffering every 10 seconds as well, I think you might have a connection issue. Because I think it's just you there, Harry. Daniel, Harry and me are on the same internet. Oh, you're swallowing each other's bandwidth. That's what it is. Was that a London Midland branded 350 that went the other way? Did I see that right? I'm going to have to look out for that. Do we have London Midland branded 350s? Northern Prince Productions at LNER, our drivers can use the speed limiter and the train will brake you to with it. But if you just sit with a train in full power, your driver train manager will pull you up as part of professional driving. There we go. Monty Burns, the sound keeps cutting in and out. A few people having issues tonight. I definitely don't think it's my end though. So if you're having issues, guys, just refresh the stream. That seems to fix the problem. And while we are bombing along through station I know not the name of, let's hit the button and play.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
BMW M3 Touring. Yes, it was London Midlands livery. Northern Princess Productions DTM driver team manager. I think I said driver train manager. Perfect on my end. Josh, from my end is working fine. I do have super speedy internet. I think okay. So yeah, as long as I know it's not the stream coming out from me, that's fine. That's cool. I'm happy with that. Okie dokie, right on the numbers. GJ, you were first, my friend. Formula 1 Nerd, you were second. BMW M3 Touring, you're the third one on my screen with number 14.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Let's give you number 14. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location if you can. Oh! Well, that's blown it open a little bit. There we go. Jamie, that is very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. Have you ever been on a Great Northern or rode a 379? So I was at Hornsey Depot a little while ago doing some work on the Class 387s, and there was a 379, an ex-Stansted Express one, berthed up next to me. So I did jump on that and have a look around. I must say that they are very nice. The first class was very nice. Certainly the ex-Stansted Express ones were. Jackson's Trains and Bus Adventures. Oh, a Black 5 on a rail tour. Joshua, defo at Steam Loco. Patty Epstein. This is Jeff. Subway Sim 2 is coming out on April 29th. Will you be getting it? Absolutely. It is on my radar. I didn't have a very good time with Subway Sim 1 or World of Subways or yeah, it might be a completely different game, but it does look really good from the videos I've seen, and it is definitely on my radar. Okay. Right, I've just realised the speed limit just dropped to 110 and I didn't do anything. Okay, look. It's tea and biscuits. GJ in Nunny Castle somewhere. Merseyrail, that is a Black 5 locomotive. BMW M3 Touring, not a 170 in Stansted. I probably should have turned some gauge lights on this. We've got a cab light. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. It's why it's why we tend not to have live chats open when we're driving in real life. Peter Edmonds, how are we doing? I only just joined, no issues with streaming here. I'd love this add-on for Xbox. Can't warrant the cost of a good 4-seat convertible for a gaming PC. Yeah, I sort of know what you're saying. To be fair, the PC I've got now is kind of the first properly decent PC I've ever had. And it's been a bit of investment, because I've had it probably for maybe, yeah, got to be about 4 years now. And it's still running the latest titles absolutely fine. So it's kind of, the only thing I've had to do is put a new SSD in it. So although it's a big initial investment, it's sort of, you're not constantly in that upgrade cycle, which is quite nice. Daniel Carter, Broughton or Britannia at Cardiff on Wednesday. We'll be there to see it. Nice. Lovely tilt physics. It's probably one of my favourite routes, if I'm being honest, it's probably one of my favourite routes in game. The West Coast Mainline South. It's got that level of variety on it. You know, we can do a fast Pendolino run, we can jump in the 350, we can do the... Is it the Suffragette? We can do the London Overground services. It's not the mild mail, the Suffragette. Is it the Suffragette? It might be the Suffragette. It's not the Suffragette line. Which one is it? Is it the Windrush? Hey, Carter Asher, welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. I forget the names of all the lines, but we can do that. We can do the Bakerloo, we can do some freight. It's just, there's just such a selection of services we can run on this route, which makes it really appealing to me. Hey, Jamie's become a member. Thank you very much, my friend. Northern Princess Productions, I paid 3.5k for mine 2 years ago. Still plays everything on max. There we go, that's what it's all about. Rick Ashtray, have you driven a tilting train? Not one that was supposed to tilt. If not, would you like to? It'd be an experience, yeah. I'd quite like to learn more about the TASS system, the kind of tilt and speed. Is it tilt advisory and speed safety system or something? Sort of how that works. That'd be pretty cool to sort of get that knowledge. Joshua, something I would like for TSW is a modern timetable for mod for Preston and Carlisle. Watch this space, Joshua, is all I can say. Mel B, is Overground on this route not available on 8th gen consoles then? There are, I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but I know on some of the consoles there are some of the layers that have been missed out because effectively the consoles can't handle the timetable. So someone who plays on console might have a bit more information about that than me, but there are certain layers you don't get on console. Hey, Jamie using all of the first class emojis there. Hey, welcome T-Dog to Dadrail. Excellent. We're cooking on gas tonight, guys. As we pass through station. And Baby Show 2008, welcome to Dadrail. Crikey, subscribers are going mad. So great to have so many of you here. The Formula 1 Nerd, did you know that you're 100 subscribers from 25,000? Nice. We're getting there. Only another 75,000 to go, and we get the silver play button. Okie dokie. This is Harrow and Willstone, I believe. I know that because that's where the Bakerloo line services start coming in. And there we go. 377. May have ordered one of those from Acura Scale as well. Where's the handset for the GSMR radio, says Train Boy. Just on the side there. We're good for 125. No, we just hold our speed where we are. We're pretty good at the moment. Harry 11, Davron, I'm sorry to say, but custard creams are the best biscuit going. I will take your custard cream and I will raise you a... What are the oaty ones called? I can't remember. I had them the other day. Hobnob. I will take your custard cream and raise you a hobnob. Charlie Waterman, unrealistic audio. Okay, Charlie. I'm not familiar with what Pendolinos sound in the cab, so I will take your word for that. Let's drop a little bit of brake in there. Bring the speed down ever so slightly. Ah, Daniel, take my hobnob and raise me a chocky hobnob. I cannot compete. That may be the pinnacle of biscuits right there. Okay, we do have a 1:10 coming up, so let's start getting some break in as we pass through Wembley Central. I sort of know where I am now. We're sort of coming on to the only bit of the West Coast Mainline that I sign. Or alongside the only bit that I sign. Dropping down to 1:10. Northern Princess Productions, I will take your hobnob and raise you the stern ginger biscuits we get on board. Andrew C, the run sounds on the Pendos are much louder in real life. It could just be that I don't have the game audio turned up enough, or are you kind of sort of relative to the other sound effects, would you say they're quiet? Lawrence Adams, TSW6 in September, really? I've not heard that one, Lawrence, but the kind of pattern would suggest that that's the order of things. I've got some ideas about what I would like to see in a potential next iteration of Train Sim World, sort of terms of game features and stuff. This all might be worth a video at some point. GJ, a fig roll is like a Jaffa cake in terms of being a wannabe biscuit. We have these discussions. This is an ongoing discussion. The biscuit debate. Like, we've spoken about this so many times. Like, is a Jaffa cake a biscuit? Is a Kit Kat a biscuit? I mean, Jaffa cake. Surely you say the name is it? You know, it's a cake. It's a Jaffa cake. Charlie Waterman, it's not the audio. The wheels have a certain sound in real life. Oh, okay. I've travelled on a Pendo a fair few times, but I can't really say I've paid that much attention. So, yeah, I'll take your word for that. Monty Burns Gaming, have you played the Thomas DLC? Yes, played it, got bored with it. Honestly, I had a bit of fun with it, but that was as far as it went. It's not for me. Trainboy Deborah, I got you a bacon, egg and sausage sandwich and a cup of tea. I'm at your cab door. Oh, nice. Right, okay, speed's dropping to 80. Let's get a little bit of break in. As we I think we're approaching Queen's Road. Queen's Road, Queen's Park. I go through this station on the tube all the time. I really should know what it's called. Right, let's get a bit more braking, get it down for that 80. And we got a warning for a 40 over 55, so we'll keep a little bit of braking, just bring it down nice and smoothly. Blend it in. Charlie Waterman, they better make West Coast Mainline Birmingham or Crewe. It's too short, just 25 to 30 minutes. Jackson's Trains and Bus Adventures 2025, maybe the Great Eastern Mainline, London Liverpool switch to Ipswich with the Class 90 DVT Mark III, Class 360 and 321. That is a lot of trains, but it's a route I would like to see in game. I think it marries up quite nicely with the other routes we've got in game as well. You know, you can get to Stratford on the mild May line, so I think that would be really good. Okay, we've got the 55 coming up. We are on a slight uphill gradient, so hopefully that's going to run out. We might need to just give it a little rubber break there. Ben P, see you later. Thanks for joining. There's our 55. Drop a little bit more braking. Remember, 55 is the limit. It's not necessarily the target. And we're going to see what's on offer once we get into London Euston. Northern Princess Productions, East Coast Mainline, London to Peterborough. Do you know what? If you were to do London to Peterborough and you were to put 700 on it, that would give it a bit of variety. Possibly Moorgate with ETCS. That would be pretty cool to have on there as well. Would you do the loop, the hitching loop? A few bits you could do with it. Formula 1 nerd, South Western Railway from Waterloo outwards. I think if we were gonna have a South Western Railway add-on, I would like to see 50 coming up. I think I would like to see, as an add-on, Waterloo to Windsor. I think would be a good one to do, with both the Hounslow Loop and via Richmond. I think that would be a good length of route and would give a good selection of services, preferably with 455s on there. I mean, Waterloo to Reading would be even better via Virginia Water, but I just don't think we'd get that. I think it would be a bit too long. I think I would prefer that to having the South Western Main Line. I think the South Western Main Line to Woking or Basingstoke would be just more of the same for me. Oh yeah, we've got London Midland branded units. Look how busy the sidings are as well. That's really cool to see. As we approach London Euston. Johnny Simulator Gaming, did I say hello? I'm not sure if I did, but hello. Okay, 2 yellows. One yellow. Red ahead. The gradient can really push you in here towards Euston as well, so. And I don't know what Virgin Trains driving policy is for speed over the magnet, so we'll go with 15. Northern Princes, I'd say East Coast Mainline, London to Peterborough, probably 379 as a hero loco and 801 as a secondary. Maybe a 717 as a gameplay expansion. If I've accidentally called it, I'll buy the drinks next time. And lots of signals on the gantry there, so quite easy to read across. I need to turn my objective marker off as well. And, whilst we're waiting...
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Okay, we're going to go full service brake application, DRA on and into neutral. Perfect. Looks like we're just waiting for another Pendolino to come out and we will be on our way. Right, get those numbers in the chat between 1 and 36. Let's have another round of Locomotive Livery Location. Okay, numbers coming in thick and fast. Put them up on the screen so you know I'm not cheating. Third one I can see there is Formula 1 Nerd. Second is Rick Ashtray. Third one on the screen, 156 Andrew with number 18.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Okay, let's give you number 18. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location, if you can, please. Anything there. There is a... I think location's going to be difficult on this, but it is gettable. I think that is quite often the way where the location gets a bit difficult. Might be something there that gives it away, might not. It is a nighttime scene, as you can see as well, so that does make it a little bit more challenging. But you guys can do it. Okay, one yellow platform 16. Peter Edmonds, my business model for Train Mod 6 would be just trains extending out south from Carlisle around the Cumbria coast or to Carnforth or down the Leeds via the Settle and Carlisle now, and they're all compatible. I mean, let's be honest, it's very, very likely that Just Trains and the other developers are working on something at the moment. You know, after the success of the previous two routes, it's really unlikely that they're just sitting in their offices doing nothing. They will be working on something. Rick Ashtray says Black 5 Wembley, Johnny Simulator Gaming, Black 5 London Euston. Nully, West Coast Railways, LMS Black 5, don't know the location. Melby Trains, probably Steam, so I've got no clue. Yeah, I'm not particularly good with Steam, I must say. So at most stations you are 15 at the platform ramps, but my understanding is London Euston, you can actually go in at 25 to clear the junction a bit quicker. But we will still have TPWS loops, 10 mile an hour TPWS loops, which we need to slow down for. which are just there. Come on, if we're over 10, we're going to have an intervention. Everyone's stood up now. They're all standing by the doors, and my harsh braking sent them all flying. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. And 6 foot away from the buffer stops. Platform 16 at London Euston. Last time I was at London Euston, platform 16 was home to Great Western Railway's 801s or 800s or whatever they are. Cucumber type trains. Panicked braking at the end there. But we're in. Okay. Full service brake. DRA in. Neutral. Offside doors. Welcome to London Euston, which looks absolutely dead. There's nobody getting off the train. There's no atmosphere. There's no station announcements. That's not a dig at the mod. That's a dig at the core game. That's something that Train Sim World 6. Let's get the real world. Let's get some atmosphere into the game. What can we do to get some atmosphere in there? We won't talk about the people flying inside the train. No, absolutely not. That, you know, please remain seated until the train has come to a complete stand at the station. Almost kiss the buffers. We absolutely see. Look how far away from the buffers we are. But when you're in the cab, it looks like you're right on top of them. So it's kind of trying to judge that distance and get that perspective. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But we are on the platform at the back, so it's all good. Look at the number of trains in the station as well. It's been properly packed out with trains, which is really good to see. Come on, what are we going to get score-wise? Okay, platinum medal. Oh, we'll take that. A little bit of speeding going on, but nothing too severe. Okay. Main menu. What do you guys... Social distancing from the buffer, says Daniel. Yeah, absolutely. David Rock and Roll 21 McGlon. Think next update, or one of the next updates with good amount, if hype, is London Paddington to Reading rework. Yeah, I believe that's going to be a free update, but don't quote me on that. But it's not a modernisation, so it's not going to bring in like the Elizabeth line and everything like that. It's just going to be a rework of the original route, just to bring it up to standard. So unfortunately, it's not going to have wires down to Reading. It's not going to have 800s or whatever the GWR units are. It's going to be a rework with the 166 and HST, but it'll be nice to have all the same. Nice to have all the same. Right, so we're staying with the West Coast Mainline. We're staying with the 2019 timetable. I'm quite tempted to do a 378 up the stoppers, because I've only ever had one drive on the 378. What do you... I tell you what, we'll do the 378. We'll do a run on that. Because these are fairly lengthy runs as well, aren't they? We'll do a... Yeah, they are really lengthy runs. London Euston up to Watford Junction. We'll do that in a 378. And then we might go for a ride in a Desi, or we might... Yeah, well, we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. Typical Nathan, how are we doing? Driving LNWR Azuma. That'll be an East Coast Mainline stream, Jamie. We'll get around to doing that one at some point. I don't think we've done an East Coast for... Oh, it must be a little while since we've done an East Coast stream. Leolo, do an empty run. Nah, we'll... Oh, that ballast texture is terrible. Is that rendering in? Is that rendering? There we go. I was gonna say, thank goodness for that. Okay, right, 378. Which, of course, you do still see running in and out of London Euston now occasionally on the DC lines here. We can go AC or DC. I think we'll stay DC because, of course, once we get up towards Wilston, we'll be on DC anyway. So, safety systems on. Everything round to normal. Train Sim World 6, please, 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 can we have the option to have the safety systems on by default so we don't have to keep mucking around with it. And TPWS temporary isolate switches the wrong way around. Still haven't worked out which way we need to be pressing that. Master key on. Into neutral. Doors on the right. DRA should be set because we are against a red. And day running on the lighting. Excellent. AC/DC is okay by me. Thunderstruck! Sorry, I won't sing. We like a bit of AC/DC, don't we, Danny?
Not when you sing it.
Not when I sing it, no. No. We'll leave it to Angus, he's much better than me. We went to a concert last night, actually, the Brighton Centre. We went to see Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, the Spirit of Man tour. It was very good. We had a very good time, didn't we? It was absolutely lovely. Hey, Danny, I'm good. How are you? Charlie Waterman, been a good 6 months since all 378s, since 378 all path to 710s. I think they do still occasionally go in there, Charlie. I saw a 710 on the West London line a few days ago, so I think occasionally we do still see them in there. Can we? Oh, we can register the GSMR. Excellent. Train Sim World 6, please can we have proper functioning GSMR? To continue this journey, the power mode must be changed. Really? Okay, well we've got a line light, so why do we need to change it? What are we currently in? Okay, we're currently on the AC. Let's change it to DC. So press and hold that for 5 seconds. Back in Black is a better song, GJ. Or Highway to Hell. Angus is the guitar. Oh, Peter. He's the only member of the band I know, so you cut me some slack. Cut me some slack. MCBD ADD light should be on if the line light is off. Come on, shoes down. Looks like the DC lines don't work. Interesting. We might have broke it. Hey, Chris Hullard, how are we doing? Sorry, I've just joined. This is the Euston to Northampton run. We are doing Euston up to Watford Junction, and we might do a Watford Junction up to Milton Keynes in the Desi afterwards. We'll see how we're getting on. 4, 5. Shoes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's quite interesting. We may have broke it. We do have third rail, but for some reason it has put the shoes down. I think the changeover is pan down, DC select, shoes down. It doesn't have a pan down button though. Okay, it should pan down automatically. When we DC system select. Okay, right. We'll go with that. Yeah, I was under the impression, and I think on the 387s, when you press DC system select, the pan goes down automatically. But never mind, never mind. We are, we're working. We're cooking on gas. We're good to go.
Ticket checks are your merchant at the station. Please have your ticket ready for inspection.
Okay, we've got a green 25. Next station stop South Hampstead platform at number 2. 25 coming out of here. I am not a fan of the... There's a lot of stuff on this 378 that I don't like. The MyTrack screen is wrong. The horn's wrong. It's not the best train in the world. It needs a little bit of TLC in my opinion. Oh, we do have neutral... Interestingly, as we go across the third rail gaps there, the air conditioning cut out, which is what we would expect. And the line light flickering on and off, which is pretty cool. But when the line light flickers, I would expect the MCB/ADD light to come on as well. But it's pretty cool that we've got third rail gaps implemented. If we ever had a locomotive like the Class 73, that would work really well. Because third rail gaps play a big part in how you drive the 73. Pretty much like neutral sections do with the 87. Yes, it should pan down automatically, but when has that ever stopped TSW? Chrisella, this might be a silly question, but is the line light the very bright light on the front? No, the line light, Chris, is that white light there, and that basically tells me we've got 750 volt power coming into the train. Oh, excuse me. No such thing as a silly question either, Chris. Ask away. I don't... Please do not take that comment literally, because there will be people. Right, 2 flashing yellows. We've got a C in the SARI, Standard Alphanumeric Route Indicator, aka theatre box. Next signal will be 1 flashing yellow. Then we'll get 1 yellow for route indicator and red after that. And we are good for 50. Have I put my lights on? I did do my lights, yep. Perfect. And I have to remember that the brakes on this are not particularly great as well. Doesn't accelerate particularly. I mean, we are on quite a steep uphill gradient, to be fair. Okay, 1 flashing yellow. Let's get the power off. Only 1.3 miles to South Hempstead. Clickety click over the points. That makes me happy. Oh, we forgot to check the interior of the Pendolino. Speed limit dropping to 40. We've got a green and a position 1 junction indicator. And it looks like we're going to be 30 across the point work. Little bit of speeding there, but nothing too dramatic. Alex, what are your thoughts on Reliant Robins as rail replacement vehicles? Interesting concept. Chris Hillard, is there a standard speed or percentage you have to drop down to when you get to double yellows? Not particularly, Chris. No, it's going to depend on so many factors. What is the line speed at the location? How far are the signals apart? What is the gradients? What is the braking performance of the train? What are the environmental conditions? There is no kind of, you must go past 1 yellow at this speed, you must go past 2 yellows at that speed, because signal spacing is not consistent. It's different all over the place. It's going to come down to your route knowledge in order to make that decision. Jackson's Trains and Bus Adventures. I have seen a Class 73 2 times. Once at Tunbridge when they were parked up, and at the Severn Valley Railway, and I rode behind it with Severn Valley Railway Class 33 in Dutch livery and matching 73 119. Yeah, 119 looks really smart in Dutch, and 128 in Network South East looks really smart. And of course 201 in BR Blue looks really nice as well. I took 201 out for a spin on Friday. Actually, we'd had some VIP guests on board, but that's one for another day. Northern Princess, the Pendo interior is still Avanti refurb. They changed the seats to the Lumo ones. I don't think I've been on a. I must have been on a refurbished Pendolino. Do they still have the little radios between the seats that you plug your own headphones into? Is that still a thing on there? Okay, 45 just coming into South Hampstead. And I do have to genuinely remember that the brakes on this thing are absolutely shocking. So I noticed on the previous run we didn't pass any freight traffic, so I'm hoping we might pass some, because there are some re-liveried 66s in this. I know there's some Freightliner ones. There might be some GBRF ones as well. So we'll have to have a look. Oh, double livery on the 350 there. Nice. Is that kind of time when the West Coast Mainline was transforming between operators? Harry, how do you send a picture in for Locomotive Location livery? You can send it via my socials, Harry. You'll find those on the screen right now, or you can send me a private message on the Discord invitation link in the description below. They still exist on the cross-country voyages. Do they work though, Daniel? Do those little I mean, I don't think I ever used them on a Pendo, but used to be able to go to the shop and buy. Headphones to plug in. I mean, it's sort of, you know, back in the days when everyone was walking around with like Sony Discmans and Walkmans and stuff like that. I'm really showing my age now, but. It does look good. I think it looks nice. Okay, 600 yards to Kilburn High Road, which will be our next station stop. I am speeding. Let's drop a little bit of braking there. And whilst we're driving, 124 of you lovely people in, post your numbers.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
You have to remember the braking performance on this train is not very good at all. I don't know whether we're I think we're a 5 car. We are a 5 car. And that's exactly where we want it to be in the, I suppose you call that the quarter light. Okay, what have we got on the numbers then? Train Boy, you were first. Daniel Carter, you were second. Nunny, you are third with number 25.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
We're going to give you number 25. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. Like I say, a little bit of a tricky one on the location, but it is gettable. It is gettable. If you have any ideas, let me know as always. And off we go to Queen's Park. What do people prefer in terms of London Overground stock? The 378s or the 710s? I probably prefer the 378s. I just think Electra Stars are really solid units. Mostly built in Derby. I just think they're just generally quite boring run of the mill, but they're good. They just work. Black 5 on a rail tour. Black 5 at Shrewsbury, says Train Boy. Jackson's Trains and Bus. I have seen that exact Black 5 before. I have a Hornby Black 5 that has real chuffing noises and smoke coming out the top of it. It's really cool. Daniel Carter, I really hope someone gets this. Would be a great guess. It is gettable, Daniel. It's definitely gettable. Okay, some funny noises coming out, but I can't see any other trains. Sounds like weird noises coming from the Bakerloo line there. Lawrence, the railway tour passes right at 0821 and again at 1411. There we go. Yeah, that'll be the one. I don't know what... It'll be 73s. I don't know what ones it'll be yet. I'll probably try for 128 and 119. But it'll be whatever I can find in the yard that's serviceable. That is a driver training run. Really, really weird thing going on with the sounds on the Bakerloo line stock there. Nice busy scene. So when the Bakerloo line train's right next to us, we can't hear it, but when it's miles away, we can hear it stupidly loud. Interesting. Lawrence Adams, I'm not driving it. It'll be a driver training run, so I'm there as the instructor on the day. But yeah, I shall be there, be in the cab, but it won't be me driving. It'll be the person that's learning to drive them. Okay, off to Kensal Green. We've got a green. 30 straight up to 45. We definitely have some weird sound things going on here. Nice to see it looking so busy, though. It's a nice busy scene, which is good to see. Trainboy Deborah, which Crystal Maze guy did you like on the show? Do you think it's better Richard O'Brien, Edward Tudor Pole? Or Richard Aode? Oh, yeah, I can't read that last one. Ed Tudor Pole is probably how I remember it. I do remember Richard O'Brien as well, so I think Ed Tudor Pole was probably right for me. There is like a Crystal Maze interactive live experience thing in London. That'd be a good day out. We should go do the Crystal Maze in London. The Crystal Maze. It's like, you seen the game show Crystal Maze? Yeah, it's like a live experience thing in London. Be a good day out. There are absolutely no run sounds on this train at all. There's no... There's no clickety-clack, there's no nothing. It's really, really odd. As we are at Kensal Green, where there are no stop car markers or little dashy things for the underground drivers to stop at. David Rock'n'Roll 21, in terms of freight diesels, I only ever see Class 66 as either DB Cargo or Freightliner, but if I'm lucky I will spot a Class 60, but very rare. Class 60 is probably my favourite freight loco. I don't sign Class 60s, I've never even been in the cab of a Class 60. There's something about them, I like Class 60s. I have a DCR one upstairs. Cavlax. It hasn't been out of the box yet. I buy all these model trains and just leave them in their boxes and get told off. Okay, really weird lighting type bugs and stuff going on here. Get a bit of low adhesion pulling away though, which was interesting. The sound light come on, we had loss of power, but there was no kind of... When you get a bit of slipping in Electrostar, you tend to get like a... I'm not doing that again. So I'm not mega impressed by the sounds at all. I think they've been ripped directly from the what do you call it, haven't they? The 375, 387. Melby trains. I like 70s as well. Yeah, again, I've never cabbed one, never driven one, but I just think they look pretty decent. Okay, there's a 30 there. We should probably get hold of that a little bit. Yeah, like I say, it's a one opportunity only with the sound effects. John Ward, 70 is ugly. Reminds me a bit of a 58 though. Okay, going past Wilston TMD. What have we got in there? Is it empty? It is empty. Still haven't seen any freight services, so I'm hoping we're going to pass something at least. As we come into Wilston Junction. Alex, are the Class 66s noisy in the cab? They are, but not excessively. Not like a Class 69, which is stupidly noisy in the cab. Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of in high power notches and you're pulling a heavy load in a 66, you will hear it. But they're not the worst, that's for sure. Okay, we are on our stop car mark. The Class 70 is pretty much a 58 of the modern era. John, 58s are good though, apart from the deficiencies. On the freight services note, do you have Great Western Express and or South Eastern High Speed in? I've definitely got Great Western Express, and I'm almost certain I've got South Eastern High Speed installed at the moment. Because I did check through the list of requirements, and I hope I've got South Eastern High Speed, that one installed. Gonna have to go back and check. So that'll be why I'm not seeing any freight services. But we had the 66 layers showing on the main menu though, so I should imagine they are there. Okay, we're off to Holston, 30 mile an hour. going up to 45, which is the maximum speed on the Bakerloo line section. I'll wait for the back of the train to clear. There we go. Won't give it too much power, just notch 2 will be absolutely fine, I reckon, because we are going downhill. 2.2% downhill grade. And let's shut it off. Ashley Coles, hello, how you doing? And up we go, up we go. Yeah, Northern Princess Productions, you have got me doubting myself now. I will give you that. You have definitely got me doubting myself. I might do a save game, sort of come back and... we'll have a look at the end of this run. If we make it without any more tea and biscuits. Well, I've still got a biscuit left there. I have run out of tea though. And that is 5, exactly where we want them. Opening the doors on the left. So we do have 111 of you lovely people here. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, consider subscribing. That would be absolutely awesome. If you are new here, it's absolutely great to have you watching. Picked up a few new subscribers on the stream today, so thank you very much, everybody. You are all very welcome here. Northern Princess, I am on the NMT layer being held outside Euston, and the rail tour has just crossed in front of me with an 87 and a pile of Mark IIIs. Nice. Okay, we're locking doors. How are we doing for time? We are a couple of minutes down because we had some power issues down at London Euston. Off to Stonebridge Park. That's where train crew get off if they're going to Wembley Depot. Come on, give us some sand. Take the power back a little bit. I know it's a wet rail, but we really shouldn't be struggling to get away from there. Tea would be cold now. I've got a little bit there. It's just about drinkable. It's kind of at that limit where it's just about to be horrible. David, hoping one day we get a UK route where the Class 66 isn't the only freight diesel, but I mean, yeah, they are everywhere. I get that, but still cannot wait for the tradition to be broken. If you look at like Tees Valley Line and stuff like that, I know it's like an older Train Sim World 2, it might even be a 1 add-on. That's got sort of 37s, 20s and bits and bobs on it. That's a pretty good add-on if you like UK freight. But yeah, in terms of something a bit more modern, I completely agree with you, David. It would be nice to get a 70 in game, or a 56 or a 60 would be absolutely brilliant to be in game. So something that's not a 66, some sort of logo that's not a 66. I'd be, yeah, absolutely up for that. And Stonebridge Park. Brake step 2 coming in lovely. Put your umbrella up there. NPCs being very interesting, glitching out. And 5 right where we want them. Unlocking doors on the left. Darrow, do you leave dregs in your tea completely empty the mug? It depends. Sometimes I have to ask my wife. Do I always drink all my tea, or do I ever leave any?
You always leave some.
There you go. I always leave some, apparently. John, a 68 would be cool. I thought a 68 would have gone well on the 5 circle. Because they were using them on there for a bit, weren't they? A 67 would be pretty good. You know, we could have like Cardiff up to Shrewsbury or something like that with the Transport for Wales stuff. That would be a really cool add-on. I wonder what they're doing with Class 60014 at Longport. It's been stripped, but it could be an EMD engine conversion for the Class 65 or something. What's a Class... Jackson's, what is a Class 65? I have not heard of this project. Enlighten me. What is a Class 65? Are they going to re-engine Class 60s? I don't know nothing about this. Tell me more. Tell me more. Actually, I saw a 37 at Ashford International the other day. I like 37s in small doses. And by that I mean if you're doing a long shift on a 37, you soon get very tired of it because they're not particularly comfortable. The visibility's shocking. They leak, they're drafty, they're noisy. But it's a 37, so you can excuse all of those things. Mel B, 68 Chiltern Mainline. Yeah, Chiltern Mainline would be a solid add-on. I don't think we've... Is there even a Chiltern Mainline for Train Sim Classic? I don't know that there is. I mean, there probably is, to be fair. But yeah, that would be a pretty solid idea. Okay, so as we cross underneath the West Coast Mainline, heading towards Wembley Central, let's press the button and get those numbers in.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Numbers between 1 and 36, please. Richard, have you seen the British Railway update on Roblox? I've not been anywhere near Roblox for a little while, typical Nathan. So I can't say I have. Harry 11, Deborah, I do apologise, my friend, but I'm going to have to disappear and get some sleep, as Zoe, my wife, or as I call her, the complete sod that has signed me up for a cricket match, starts at 5 AM. No worries, Harry. Jolly good luck with the match, and I won't tell your wife what you called her. Thanks very much for joining, Harry. Always good to see you. Okay, 45 at the end of Wembley Central. Speed's coming down lovely. Have to turn the wiper off as well. Okay, so interestingly, at Wembley Central it wants me to stop at that stop car mark. And all the other stations it wanted me to stop at the S at the end of the platform. So, I don't know whether you're coming or going half the time here. Rich, do you have the 318 on Train Sim Classic? I don't think I do, typical Nathan, no. David Rock'n'Roll 21. I actually live next to Tees Valley Line, and we were destined to have the Class 68s running the TPE services, but the locals who live next to the stations, namely Saltburn, complain about the noises they make. They are noisy beasts, especially when they've got the ETH running. So yeah, I kind of see where that's going. Tom Abbott, what are your thoughts on the mod? Just going to put the names of the creators there to credit them. The timetable seems a lot more packed out, if I'm being honest. Really enjoying it so far. Liking the 378 services, as opposed to just having the 710 on there. I haven't seen any freight yet, but that could be because I don't have South Eastern High Speed installed. Or it could be the time of day that I'm playing. Great to have the Virgin Pendolino on there. And looking at like some of the sidings and yards, they're absolutely chocker with bits and bobs, which is just really good to see. So yeah, if you are on PC, go and grab it. It's completely free of charge. It's really easy to install. Like seeing the London Midlands, like the variety and the livery. So 2019's a really kind of interesting time to model, because it kind of franchise change over time on the West Coast Mainline. Out with Virgin, in with Avanti. So yeah, I think the guys have done a really good job. You know, and they've completely free of charge. They put a lot of hard work into it. It's clearly a passion project. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Don't worry about the name, says Harry 11. She's well aware. Jackson's because there were talks about it. Okay. Yeah, I've not read about the Class 65. I've not read anything in particular. P. Jones, I had a trip behind a 68 with TP a couple of years ago. Lovely, proper noisy diesel. Pity they've gone. So I had a trip... Chiltern, 68 Chiltern with the Mark... I believe they're Mark 3s. Might be Mark 4. Some sort of coaching stock. Someone will tell me what they are. Please stand behind the yellow line. Yeah, just... It's such a nice... Do you know what? We come back from Birmingham on one of those. Much preferred it to doing the Pendolino. That was 2 years ago. We come back from Worley. Yeah, it must have been 2 years ago. Crikey. Yeah, because I didn't go to Worley last year. So yeah, crikey. Yeah, definitely. Okay, right. I asked for your numbers. Didn't play the game. Typical. Right, your first one was Mel B, second one Daniel Carter, third number was GJ with number 24.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Right, let's go 24, guys. 10 seconds. Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. It is gettable. It's difficult, but it's gettable. This is probably an expert level one. Alex, Richard, what's your favourite season for driving trains? I'm going to say the summer. It's nice being out in the daylight. Everyone sort of tends to be happy, you know. People, but it's just a nicer place to be. One thing about driving trains, though, you do definitely get to see the changing seasons. You know, and how the routes change depending on what the season is and stuff. It's quite remarkable. Jackson's got Black 5 at Peterborough. Daniel, he says, let's see some more answers. Come on then, people. Let's have some more answers. Definitely got a lot more AI traffic as part of this timetable than the original. Alex Dent, this is complicated. There are some really weird sound effect type things going on. I don't know if that's the route or the timetable mod or the train or what's to blame for that, but there do seem to be some really weird sort of sound things going on. Doors on the right. Bakerloo line train pulling out there. Just sounds a little bit on the loud side. Alex, I'd find it quite interesting to experience winter night time driving. It feels pretty peaceful being a passenger in a train during winter evenings. Nighttime driving, you'll be surprised how little you can see out the front of the train is all I would say. It's not like driving in your car where you've got big bright headlights. It depends what type of train you're driving. If you're driving a Class 73 locomotive, you've got like a 40-watt light bulb. That is your headlight. The headlight's there so other people can see you, not so you can see out. The kind of, you know, sunset time, sunrise, it's really, really nice. There's some really nice views to be had. GJ, oh, what a mistake to make. Captain Bertarelli. Capitano, you are my friend. Let's see. What was I watching on telly the other day? See, hello, hello, it's the classics. Hello, this is Nighthawks. Oh, Rene.
This is Leclerc.
It is I, Leclerc. Half the people in this stream have absolutely no idea what we're going on about now. Right, we're off to Kenton, 45 miles an hour. How much longer have we got? Kenton, Harrow and Wildstone, Headstone Lane, Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Bushy, Watford High Street and Watford Junction. Okay, we've only got about 15 minutes then on this one. 16 minutes. That's not as bad as I thought. It's gone pretty quick. You stupid woman. Northern Princess Productions, yeah. I like Officer Crabtree. Yeah, I won't say his catchphrase because I'll get demonetised. Leclerc or Lescon? GJ, is it Leclerc or is it Lescon? Have we got any celery in the fridge? Right, okay, that was me thinking about flying helmets and wet celery, and now I'm going to overshoot my... Look, it's emergency braking. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. It's not tea and biscuits, it's on the platform. Okay. Good morning. I was something the cafe. Hello! Hello, chaps. Oh, it's a classic. It's an absolute classic. John Ward, celery, not salary, celery. The wet celery and the flying helmet. It leaves a lot to the imagination, doesn't it? Genuinely does. Gruber and his little tank. Ugh. It's, yeah. Anything by, you know, Jeremy Lloyd and David Croft is just, it's just good, isn't it? Wow, there was a 12 class 350. I missed that going past. Alex fella, the hot plate in the class 66 is that literally for keeping your food warm. No, you can do quite a bit of cooking on that. A few of the drivers have got various hacks and tricks for how to cook various bits and bobs. I've got like a metal Tupperware container that I take sometimes, but soup, yesterday's leftover dinners, beans, anything you like. Some people take like camping kettles. We've got bottled water in the cabs, so you fill your camping kettle up with bottled water. You can boil a kettle, make yourself a cup of tea. Toasted sandwiches is the other one. If you make a sandwich, like a cheese sandwich, wrap it in tin foil. You can put that on the hot plate, and you'll get a perfect toasted cheese sandwich. Some people have got little frying pans. They cook bacon on there. It's a pretty good thing. It does get used. Oh, GJ, the gateau from the chateau, and the candle with the handle, and the jug with the drug. There's another part to that, I'm sure there is. The peel in the till. That was a Christmas special. Sujat, sorry, I saw your comment earlier about how do you know your braking points if you can't see very well out the window at night. Literally route knowledge. You can see well enough to know where your braking points are. You can make out when you go across a bridge, or you go past a signal, or you go across a set of points. So you know it's not like it's cave dark. You can see. Your route knowledge is such where you just know where you are. David, I can't forget The Fallen Madonna. The Fallen Madonna by Van Klomp. Is it post Watershed? The Fallen Madonna with the Big Boobies by Van Klomp. I can say that. It's a forgery. Come on. Harrow and Willstone. 5 on the S. We're doing alright. We're winning. Paul Gray, there's an Hello podcast with Hilger, Flick and Gruber. It's very good, and they're friends in real life. Paul, I did not know that. I am going to go and check that out, because there's like a book, Rennie's Diary or something like that, which I read, which was really good. Hello podcast. We need to check that out. Yeah.
We like a bit of a
General von Klinkerhoffen. Club. Sorry.
People will think you're crazy.
I am crazy.
Yes, but
You have to be a little bit crazy to wanna. You have to be a little bit crazy to drive trains all day, then come home and sit in front of a computer and drive more trains, right? It takes a very special sort of person. Andre, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there. Richard Gibson and Kim Hartman, Herflick and Ilga, are still doing conventions together in costumes, and for photo op they have the Fallen Madonna painting. Oh, that is so cool.
I want to school them.
We should look out for that. We definitely should. Right, we're off to Headstone Lane in 1 mile. We lose the London Underground traffic now. I am going to take an assumption now that I don't have South Eastern High Speed installed, which is why we're getting no freight layers, which is a little bit of a shame. I feel like I'm kind of not doing the mod justice here. I don't like the way... Oh, excuse me. I don't like the way that horn cuts off. As soon as you let go of the button, it stops. There's kind of no fade out on it. Tavran, any luck on that celery? I'm a married man. Celery is a thing of the past. Peter Edmonds, I don't watch Hello Hello anymore. I had a bad experience with a French customs officer in the 90s after a month-long tour. He looked like Rene and had big fat sausage fingers. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, Headstone Lane, platform 2. Let's get it in. And come on. Look, there's just... Do you mind not standing on the station furniture? Ladies and gentlemen, Dynamo has now been featured in Train Sim World, as in the Magician, doing the wonderful floating trick. Yes, interesting. It's a Train Sim World thing. David Rock'n'Roll 21. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll see Guy Sinner, who played Gruber, having a short scene in the first Pirates of the Caribbean film. Oh, I don't think I've seen any of those. Okie dokie, where are we off to now? Hatch End. Hatch End was one of... So we done the... Myself and a couple of friends done the London Transport Rail Race back in couple of years ago, 20-something or other. Really good day out. There's a vlog video on the channel about it. And you have to visit 6 stations within London, so it's one in each travel card zone, and then the London landmark. And you have to do it on public transport. You're not allowed to use taxis, you're not allowed to use bikes, you're not allowed to run. It's got to be done on public transport. And you've got to either arrive or depart each station by train. Yeah, and we done quite well with it. And whilst you're going around the challenge as well, there's like bonus points you can pick up. So like, how many pieces of Network South Eastern infrastructure did you see? Go for a ride on the tram, get bonus points. Go and see this bus, get bonus points. Go and see the London Underground headquarters, get bonus points. Try and treasure hunt this person in London, get bonus points. It's a really good day. So yeah, there's a video on the channel called London Transport Rail Race. You can go and check that out. It's run by On Our Lines, who I think is... I think the lady's name is Jarly, who's a signaller on the London Underground. I think she has a kind of YouTube channel type thing going on, or certainly did have. But really, really good if you ever get the opportunity to go on. It's completely free. It just costs you the cost of a travel card, but it's worth doing. I do like the way we've got little puddles on the platform and kind of in the 6 foot there as well. That's a nice little touch. The kind of pooling water. Okay, now is that P-Way member of staff sort of on a platform up there? I think they're safe. Mel B all took part in that last year. Our team did the worst. Alex, has the rail industry changed much in the time that you've been working? I think the biggest change I've seen, Alex, obviously I've been on freight for the last 6 years, but during my time as passenger, the biggest change I saw was a lot of the kind of British Rail kind of old school diesel drivers sort of going through retirement and phasing out, and I think you've kind of lost that. With those guys there was kind of a level of camaraderie and respect, and I think it's kind of moved away from that and it's become a lot more corporate, the way the railway is, certainly on the passenger side. But sometimes change is good, sometimes it's not. You know, I think people are a lot more professional than they used to be. I say professional, whether they're better drivers or not is debatable, but yeah, difficult to say, really. Difficult to say. The BR people were certainly characters. They brought a mess room to life. Some of the stories they could tell you and the experience they could pass on was, you know, it's invaluable. There's Northern Princess Production, you know, it's kind of alluding to there with her comment. Jackson, have you ever driven a rail tour before? Not in real life, no. So in order to drive a rail tour, you need to be Class 1 competent. So you need to be competent to drive Class 1 and Class 2 trains. I was competent to drive passenger trains when I was a passenger train driver, but as a freight train driver, I've lost that competency. So I can reacquire that competency. It's course that I need to go on and various other bits and bobs. Because although I had that skill, if you don't use a skill for a certain amount of time, you basically lose it. You have to practice that skill often enough to maintain competency. So I'm out of competencies for that side, because I'm so far out of competency. I can't just refresh it. I've got it's not beyond the realms of possibility, but a lot of that kind of the rail tour stuff and things like that tend to be like more seniority based. It'll be the people that have been there longer. It's kind of, you know, there's a lot of seniority still on the railway, which I do agree with. So. Alex, much more corporate and just a job rather than a hobby where they earn the money. And do you know what, Alex? Since moving over to freight is really different. Freight, I would say, is a lot more similar to that British rail mentality, because the terms and conditions on freight are certainly where I am are not the best. They're not the worst by a long shot, but compared to the passenger companies, you know, there is no comparison. I'm not going to go into details about the ins and outs, but you've kind of, if you're doing that sort of work on freight, you've kind of got to want to be there, and you've got to want to do it, and there's a completely different attitude amongst the people. So on freight, the attitude tends to be, you know, what can we do to get this, what can we do? We're all pulled together, we need to run a train. Whereas on passenger, it's just like, I'll cancel it, there'll be another one in half an hour. So where passenger, you know, not everyone, and I'm not kind of saying all passenger drivers are the same, that would be really unfair, but the sort of mentality on passenger, at least in my experience, was, oh, what can I do to get out of my next trip? Whereas on freight, it's more, what can we do to make sure we get this train running? That is a generalisation, but that's kind of the way I feel about it. Okay, where are we? We've got Bushy, Watford High Street and Watford Junction. Not far to go now. Is this not, Mel B, is this not maintaining the competence? I wish. Jack says, I haven't been on a rail tour before. I've been on a couple now. I've been in the cab of a couple, and I've been passenger on one. Alex, I'd love to get into freight, but it seems much more complicated to get into with no experience. You'd be surprised, Alex. If you come into freight, freight companies will take... In actual fact, I think GB Rail Freight are advertising at the moment for trainee drivers. They will take trainee drivers, but normally your way in on freight would be to come in as ground staff, so you come in as a shunter, and then sort of go through the internal progression route. But it's doable. It's just a different skill set. I mean, it's all train driving at the end of the day, but freight and passenger, they are different skill sets. There is crossover, of course there is, but fundamentally I think that they are different. Come on, keep it going. Harry 11, Davrow, there's a group of guys at Cardiff where Zoe and I are that are all started the same day 54 years ago, and we have really good camaraderie with them. Exactly that, yeah. And you know, when I was on passenger, you really had that with the older guys and stuff. But a lot of them are retiring. I mean, some of them still go to like the union branch meetings and stuff, like retired members section. But a lot of the characters are disappearing. I think there's a lot more backstabbing than there used to be as well. You know, there's a lot of... Again, I'm probably generalising, but, you know, it's a different dynamic. Without those kind of characters, it's a different dynamic. Okay, 45 off to Bushy, 0.8 miles. Shall we press the button?
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Get those numbers in. Let's have another go at this. See if we can get that location. We are going to have another run once we get to Bushy. Once we get to Watford, sorry. We'll jump in the Desi and do a little bit. Probably won't be a full line run because that'll take another 45 odd minutes, and I've got to be up relatively early, so... Okay, right, well, we have got some numbers coming in. Who have we got? Third one on the screen is Daniel Carter. It's your picture, Daniel. Number 36. We will do that as soon as we stop at Bushy. Brake step 2 and there's no sound. This train is definitely bugged. What do we want from Train Sim World 6? We want all the bugs taken out. Yeah, some really weird sound things going on here. What is a Desi? Tolworth Broadway. Desi short for Desiros. Siemens Desiro, class 350. Desiros. And we are all stopped where we want to be stopped. Unlocking doors on the left. Let's play.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So 36 is bottom right. 3 and 6. 36. Here we go. What is it? Where is it? That kind of right hand side will help you with your location a little bit. Do you know what? I'm feeling super generous here, so I'm going to give you that one. And I'm going to give you one more. I'm going to give you number 6 as well. That's all you're getting, though. That's all you're getting. What is it? Where is it? I'm in a good mood. We'll do one more round, Daniel, and then if we haven't got any guesses, you can start handing out the clues. Police siren, standard for Watford. All views and opinions are my own. Jackson's router at Doncaster. GJ Euston says Euston, Black 5 at Euston. Beautiful stuff. Great Western Photography, quick question. Which company runs D1015 Western Champions? I've got that down in a couple of weeks' time. I'm not entirely sure. It's got to be Euston, says Jackson's Trains and Bus Adventures. Interesting. Daniel Carter, Harry, number 11 and 12 might prove worthy. It is a difficult one on the location. I didn't get the location and I could see the whole picture, but then my knowledge is not particularly good. But it is definitely gettable. But the thing is, it's like anything, you know. If you know, you know. If you've never been there before, then you're not going to know. But there is one of these for everyone. So this is number 107 we're doing today of the Locomotive Location liveries. We've done more rounds than that because we have recycled some of the older ones. As we come into Watford High Street. Our penultimate station stop. Daniel, you've cut off most of the sign. There is a... I have, Daniel, but there is a... I think the sign will help, Daniel. That's why I didn't give them that box. Just saying. There is enough on there. The pie train. One day you could do LLL, but with just sound. Ooh, that is a hard gig. Typical pie train. That is a hard gig. So can you guess the? So we can have certain sound effects on a train, like a horn, or a pulling away, or a door hustle alarm, or something, and it's guessed that by the sound of it. That I like that idea. Jamie, my local route. Daniel might have helped considering it's the station name. It is blurred out, but I think the kind of the font and the way it's laid out might give some clues, is all I'm going to say. Typical Nathan. Richard, what's that weird freeze thing when the train stops, the game freezes for a second? It just seems to want to do that on this route at the moment. I've got no idea exactly why it's doing it or what's going on, but yeah, you are right. It does keep freezing up every time we stop. Okay, we're coming around to Watford Junction, which is our penultimate station. And then I'm going to have a look to see if I do have the South Eastern High Speed installed, which I'm pretty sure I do, but I probably missed it. Go on then, let's do it again.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Great Western Photography, that's Black 5, number 45212 in BR, lined black in the north somewhere. Northern Princess Productions, Desiros, make sure to set custom weather and light clouds for the last run. Custom weather, light clouds. We can go with that. Harry 11, Desiros, when are we due next to stream? I'm not quite sure, Harry 11. There will be another stream probably midweek, but it depends how my week pans out, because I've got a bit of a kind of all over the place week coming up, so possibly Wednesday. Yeah, we'll go with Wednesday. We're pretty safe Wednesday. I don't know what we're doing yet. Might be something in Train Sim Classic, might be Train Sim World. Is there anything in particular that people would like to see? If there is, of course, let me know. Happy to oblige. And there we go, dropping down to 15 as we come into Watford Junction. Northern Princess Productions, actually, since we're here, I've got some time to make a TSC scenario. Yeah, but I probably haven't got time to install the requirements. Daniel, loving this game of LL. You have the advantage, Daniel, knowing the answer. Okay, not many people playing on the numbers now. You've all given up on me tonight. So, first number in was Pie Train 8. Second one was Dave Rock and Roll 12. Third one was GJ with 21.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Right, let's give you a 21 then, guys. Ten seconds. What is it? Where is it? Typical Nathan, will we ever get a 373 on Train Sim World? Typical Nathan, would you like to see the Channel Tunnel on there? Because the Channel Tunnel is the route you think you want, but you really don't. And what I mean by that is, it's really boring. You just drive through a tunnel for half an hour. Unlock on the right. There we go. We are there. We are there. Daniel should have removed 12. I tell you what, if you want Daniel, give him a clue. Give him a clue. Let's take those numbers away. Give him a clue. You can give him a clue, Daniel, if you want. Atomic Frog Trains, hello, says Black 5, Manchester, Victoria. Great Western Photography, that doesn't look like Euston. What else we got? Trainboy says Black 5 at wherever that is, I can't pronounce that. Daniel Carter, the Pie Train 1. Oh, you're not supposed to tell him, Daniel. You're supposed to let him keep guessing. Ignore that. Keep guessing. Harry Nevin, Deborah, damn, I'm going to be at a wedding reception on Wednesday. Ah, that'll be all right, Harry. It should be good. Wedding receptions are always a good laugh. Okie dokie, right. Right, I'm going to check if I've got South Eastern High Speed installed now. We're going to do a quick run in the Desiros, and that is going to be it for us. Typical Nathan, Black 5 at Wick. Melby train, certainly not Euston. To the trains, choose a route. Yeah, I have South Eastern High Speed installed. So, I'm not sure what's going on with the freight layers and why I'm not getting any. It could just be time of day. You know, it might just be time of day. So, West Coast Mainline South, London Euston to Milton Keynes. Timetable mode. We're going to go for a ride in the 350. And like I say, we're not going to do a full run in this. Even 40 minutes is a bit on the long side, if I'm being honest. We'll take about 20-ish. What have we got that kind of fits that sort of criteria? There's 37 minutes there. 32, London Euston to Camden carriage sidings. No, I don't really want to do it. London Euston to Tring. Possibly. Yeah, let's go London Euston to Tring, or Tring to London Euston. Where's something starting at Milton Keynes and heading south? We done that in the Pendolino though, didn't we? Let's go something early morning actually, see if we do get those freight layers coming in. London Euston crew, drive it all the way to Milton Keynes. London Euston Tring. There we go. We're going with that. We're going with that. Custom weather and light clouds is what Northern Princess Production told me to put it on. Okay, Daniel Carter says the clue is Great Western Mainline. That is your clue. Can you have a look at freight? Would you rather do a freight run, guys? Jackson says Reading. Okay, where does this one stop? Harrow and Willstone, Watford Junction, Hamel Hampstead, Berkhamsted, and Tring. I tell you what, we'll do a freight run next time. We'll do this one and then we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. So vigilance, DSD, TPWS, AWS, normal safety systems are all in. Is there anything on the circuit breakers we need to put on? I don't think there is. TPWS round to normal. Excellent. Into neutral. Doors on the left. GSMR, does that do anything? It does. Excellent. What livery have we got though? That is the next question. Confirm deregister. You're not even registered. Come on. It's doing weird and wonderful things. We need some lights on here as well, don't we? Where's the light controls? Daylight. Excellent. We've not got a London Midland one for us today. We haven't. Oh, the cameras are really funky here at Euston. You go into the 8 cam and it just kind of throws you out all over the place. How do we get back into the station? Okay, no, that's not going to work. We're literally stuck. We cannot get back into the station. Right, never mind. We got until 6:52 and we're on our way. Thompson's Black 5, 7 Tunnel Junction. Tolworth Broadway says Ealing Broadway. Peter Evans, heavy freight over Shap with a 40. Do you know what? We've only had one run on that route. Let's do that Wednesday. Let's schedule that in for Wednesday. Let's do some freight over Shap. That sounds like a plan. Richard, do the big departure boards work? I can't even get out there to show you, but no, I don't think they... She's saying that. I think they might do. Right, let's get going. It's Desi time. And she's pretty rapid as well. I suppose we have been driving the 378 was on DC. We are now on AC, so AC is it's much better. Okay, so still got 106 of you lovely people watching. If you haven't already, please to hit the like button and consider subscribing. That it would be absolutely awesome. Really does help me out. Because I have just clicked off of it on my computer for a moment or two, just to have a look at something else. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yep, that's working. Okay, back in the room. Holding that 25, off to Harrow and Willstone. Richard, have you seen the 5-circle electrification? It's at Dalmeny. I haven't. No, I haven't played 5-circle for a little while since they put, and I haven't been down the. Is it the Leven branch? So that's another route worth jumping back into at some point. Would need to install the mod for that though, because without the mod, it doesn't look particularly great. If I'm being honest. But yeah, definitely something we can do. Hopefully, we're going to see some freight now because either I've not installed the timetable correctly, or I'm missing one of the requirements, but I do have Southeastern High Speed. I do have the RHTT pack. I've got the cargo line pack installed, so I'm not sure why I'm not getting any freight. We might see some on this trip though. Where are the gauge lights? We've got desk dimmer. Instrument. Okay, we'll put it instrument and desk. Right, we got a green. We did have an AWS cancellation, but it must be okay because the signal has gone to green. We got a 40 coming up, so we won't exceed that. I think this is Camden carriage sidings, which is absolutely chocked out with various bits and bobs. And another Avanti 390 down there. Typical Nathan, Richard at a terminus on a passenger service. Does the driver take the same train back out or what? Not necessarily. Sometimes the driver will take the same train back out. Sometimes the driver might be off for their what's called a PMB, personal needs break, and they might take a later train out. It really all depends on the diagramming. So yeah, not necessarily is the answer to that. Needs 319s, hashtag sad Emily noise. 319s would be cool. I like 319s. Right, we're holding that 40 really steady. Let's see if we can have an on-time run. It does happen occasionally. Yeah, I am on the... I'm pretty sure I loaded in the right timetable. I was just thinking that myself. But there are some Avanti ones in that timetable, so... Actually, no, I have loaded in the wrong timetable. Right, okay, ignore that. I've just thought I must have loaded in the wrong timetable because it showed me that I'd already completed one of those services. Okay, right. 2019. There we go. We've got the London Midland variant there as well now. Yeah, okay. Watford Junction to London Euston, 31 minutes. Right, that is exactly what we want to do. Dynamic weather. No, custom weather light cloud is what you wanted me to do. Light cloud, there we go. Perfect. Right, okay. Typical Nathan. Yeah, so PMB's personal needs breaks will be part of your diagram, and you can only do so many hours driving before you have to have a break. So if you've got a driver that's done like, you know, I don't know, we used to do like Hastings, Charing Cross back to Hastings. It's nearly 4 hours driving. So when you get back to Hastings, you'd have a break before you've done another trip. Which is, yeah, it's pretty important to make sure you do that. Okay, right. Let's have another go, shall we? Come back tomorrow. We'll do it properly. Safety systems all on. TPWS round to normal. In the chair, key in. We've got one yellow, so we don't need to set our DRA. Doors on the right hand side. And instrument and desk and timetable. That'd be instrument and desk only. And I think we're in a good place there, aren't we? So we'll keep the reverser in neutral for a minute. Oh, GSMR. There we go. Northern Princess Light Cloud is basically what I use for default weather in tracing. It works quite well, and you don't randomly get fog. I quite like the dynamic weather. I think the dynamic weather's probably a little bit too harsh, though. It's probably a little bit too dynamic, if I'm being honest. But I think it looks good. I think it looks good. Daniel might have to nip to Lidl in the morning for some chocky hobnobs. Oh. Don't do that to me. Okie dokie, right, let's go for a little wander through. Have we got London Midlands branding on any of the posters? I think this is all still London North Western branding on here. Oh, it is a London North. I thought I'd pressed a London Midland one. Or is this kind of a London Midland one that's just had the... Yeah, it's London Midland livery, isn't it? It's just got London North Western Railway stickers on it. Do you have an issue with the Class 350 interlock lights being on the whole time? Not that I've noticed, Mr. Quicko, but we'll have a little look. But yeah, I haven't noticed that particularly, but let's have a little look. Do you mean the lights on the outside, the body side indicator lights? No, they've all gone off. It's what they should have done. You should probably put some headlights on though. Okay, right, where are we stopping? We are stopping Bushy, Harrow and Millstone and at Wembley Central. So that's a nice run. And hopefully we will get a little bit of freight action on the way down. John Ward, I like this livery. Hey Dave, no worries. Thank you very much for joining, my friend. Hope to see you in another stream very soon. Not in service. Well, that's wrong. I don't think... Can we change it? Lighting, main system. Nope. Brake system, door system. I don't think we have a mechanism to change it. Oh. And you can't operate the controls when you're looking at one of those screens, which is the most irritating thing ever. Right, let's get it going. Mr. Quicko will have to look into it my end with the mods. Yeah, it seems to be alright my end. Typical A from Richard at Queen Street. There was a 156, 153 and 170. Oh, that's nice. Is there a separate control panel for the PIS system? I don't know that there is. As we come down towards Bushy. The brakes are pretty impressive on this as well, I must say. I wonder if the brakes are a little bit too good on here. Tiger Hidden Adam, how are we doing, my friend? No need to apologise. You're always welcome, no matter what time. We've got about... We're working this one down to London Euston. Oh, then we're doing a coupling move at London Euston. So we've only got probably about 25 minutes, and then we are off for the night. Are you driving the 350 in the London Midland livery? So... There we go. I think it looks really good. Yeah, we're not too bad, Tiger Hidden Adam. Davro, your lights are not on your train. You mean my interior lights are not on? Ah, the passengers like it in the dark. But I suppose for the sake of being professional, we should turn them on. And are we stopped? And doors on the left. Let's turn those train lights on. Oh, come on. Let's put it into neutral first as well, that helps. That door should not be open. Train lights, train lights, train lights, train lights. Are they on the... possibly on the screen, aren't they? Lighting, there we go. Interior lighting. Lighting on, there we go. Interior lights are on now. should not be driving along with that door open. That wouldn't be good. John Ward, where my brother lived for 40 years, Bushy. Alex, are the trains ever a pain to start in the cold? Not normally, Alex. The 66s, 73s, they take a little while longer to kind of go through their pre-lube and start-up sequence. So they might clag a little bit, but they tend to start all right. A lot of the 66s do, 73s not so much, but 57s do as well. Once you start them up, if they're cold, they're sort of you won't be able to take more than power notch 3. You'll have like restricted power until the engine's warmed up, till the oil and the coolant's warmed up. So sometimes, like if it's a really cold morning, you've got a heavy train, you might have to start the loco an hour before it's due out, just so it gets time to get everything up to temperature. Typical Nathan Richard, would you ever do a TSW stream shift if you had the time? I wouldn't have anything against it, typical Nathan. We did do a few years ago now, 24-hour live stream, which was fun for charity. I'd like to do another one of those. We could do like a 24-hour sort of shift on various bits and bobs. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. We're still not in service, but don't worry about that. See if we can jump a little bit ahead and do a flyby. We'll have a look in Wembley Yard when we get down there, actually. See what the situation is down there. And we got one of each on the trains. We got a 710 over the other side there. Alex, like driving an old diesel car, I don't like revving mine above 2000 until it's warm. It looks after the engine. Cold starting at 37 was one of the coolest things I've seen. Yeah, talk about clag. It's impressive. I mean, 73s are not particularly known for their clag, but they still clag a bit when you start them cold. Right, green, 3.3 miles to Harrow and Millstone. GCO 11, Gekio 11. Sorry, I'm really sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there. Deborah, purely driving wise, which is more enjoyable to drive, a passenger train or a freight? I have a child growing up who's interested in trains, and we have BNSF close to home here in the States. It's really, really difficult to say. I think they're different disciplines, and I think it's going to come down to preference. I really enjoy driving freight. I probably enjoy freight more than passenger. The sort of passenger work I was doing, it's the same work day in, day out. You know, accelerate, stop at a station, pick up passengers, carry on, do it again, rinse and repeat. And it's just the same over and over again. Well, with freight, every day's different. You know, we're constantly, as new work comes along, we have to go and learn new locomotives. We have to go and learn new routes and new things. But then I enjoyed the interaction with the passengers when I was driving passenger trains, and so yeah, it's really difficult to say. It's genuinely very difficult to say. Peter, Deltic Cold Start Epic. I've never even seen a Deltic in the flesh, Peter. I'm told I won't forget it though if I do. Alex, freight seems a bit more technical and more of an art to. I think. With freight, the actual the train handling technique requires a little bit more finesse. We can speed up. We're 100 to 90 miles to go to the station. I think the handling technique on freight requires a little bit more finesse. So the way you drive the train is different to a passenger train. Passenger train is very much pull back the power lever and off it goes, push it forward and it'll stop. The way you drive a freight, there's a lot more involved. You've got all your traction. All the traction effort, you know, is in one locomotive at the front. They take a long time to brake. Little things like when you release the brakes, they release at the front of the train before the back of the train. You know, depending on the type of brakes you're operating, it might take a minute or so for the brakes to fully release. And in that time, you don't want the train rolling back. So that the actual way you drive the train is different. So I think in kind of train handling, freight, there's probably a little bit more skill to freight. But then, you know, when you're doing passenger trains, you've got to worry about like passenger train interface and dispatch procedures and stuff like that. So it's very individualistic. Tower of Broadway, no worries, my friend. Thank you very much for joining. It has been a long one. We have been live for about 2 hours or so. So yeah, but thanks very much for joining. And doors on the left. Have to remember with these, once you get below 3 miles an hour on a Desiro, they just put the brakes in, they just stop. It's like an anti-rollback feature. So you can't sort of creep down the platform really slowly because they will just stop. Which is an interesting thing. Cross train spotting, what is the best your favourite train that you've driven? Class 57. So the Class 57 is such a nice locomotive to drive. I just really like driving those. And are we off? We're off. Let's see if we can get a nice flyby shot for our departure. Another one coming the other way. Just stand here rail fanning. And we're back in the room. Mel B, what's your favourite train as a passenger? Oh, good question. Pacer. Absolutely, it's a Pacer. It's got to be a Pacer. Andrew C. Desiros have a low speed mode on the driving desk that overrides the auto brake up to a certain... Oh, interesting. Typical Nathan, the stream kept lagging. It's showing as healthy my end. So it could be... I know a few people have had internet issues tonight, so it could be that. Okay, Wembley Central, 2 miles to go. Alex, you're held at a signal for a long time. What do you tend to do? There's not a lot you can do, Alex. Just kind of look out the window, read a newspaper, put your feet up. Do not put your feet on the driving desk. That is not allowed. Yeah, there's not really much you can do. There are kind of... so in terms of rules and regulations, if you're being detained at a signal of danger, there are certain rules and regulations you have to follow in terms of sort of contacting the signaller and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're being held there because there's an incident on the line ahead of you, it's not really too much you can do. Yeah, Train Boy, I thought that was the case when we were doing the flyby shot. I think you are right. Should we... Yeah, we'll check at the next station. But yeah, I believe you are right. We do have reds in the middle of our train. Which is very naughty because when the driver joined them up, they shouldn't be like that. And we're using the very good braking performance of the Desiro. I think the braking on this is not accurate. It just feels far too good. I mean, it could well be accurate. It just feels far too good to me. Oh, it's a good stop. It's a good stop. No hands. We'll take it. Close enough. Close enough. Unlocking doors on the left. Wembley Central with a 377 there as well, which is always good to see. Nice. Let's go and check those lights in the middle cab. I think you were right, Train Boy. We do have... Yeah, someone's left the lights on the back of that unit. Is something we're able to do? Tail lights, tail lights, tail lights, tail lights. Come on, folks, where are they? There's got to be a separate switch for tail lights, right? I can't find it. Come on, somebody. There you go, tail lights. Off. There we go, that's better. I have learnt something because I did not know that we could touch switches in 8cam. Peter Evans, Pacers best, forgotten, awful contraptions. I had to commute on them for years. I could probably give up work and claim benefits because of PTSD or something similar. I never had to travel on them. You know, hands up. They're kind of. I live in the southeast. We never saw a Pacer. Right, let's have a look and see what's in Wembley as we go past. Rightio, I think most people have got this now, but let's play again.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Yeah, Wembley's empty. Got no 66s in there at all by the looks of it. So possibly an issue with the timetable. I genuinely don't know. Or an issue with... It's probably more likely to be a me issue with requirements that I've not downloaded. We'll get up a bit further. Typical Nathan. Richard, what happens if a passenger gets in a cab or ends up at the depot? If a passenger ends up at the depot, we're normally you're gonna try and get them to safety. So depending on where the depot is and the circumstances, you might be able to escort them off site by foot, or you might have to take the train back out into a platform. We have got some 66s. Yeah, it must just be a time of day thing. Come on, we're good for 90. Let's get it to 90. Let's drive it like we stole it. Northern Princess, yeah, you're missing something. Mine was fairly full. I did go through the list of requirements. I'll have to do it again, but I'm pretty sure I had everything that was on the list. Yeah, Tiger Hidden Adam. When I was a shunt driver, it happened once or twice where passengers would end up at the depot. It was... Oh, crikey, we're supposed to be doing 75. It was taken quite seriously because obviously it is a massive safety issue. And what we would normally do at my depot, because it was third rail everywhere, is we would keep them on the train, and then the driver would have to take the train back to a platform to get them off. Then it would be whoever was responsible for clearing the train out. So we used to terminate at Hastings Station most of the time, and you'd have two members of staff would walk through the train. So one would walk through the inside of the train, and one would walk on the outside of the train. And as the member of staff walk through the inside, check in, they get to the end of each coach and they'd stick their hand out the door. And then the person on the outside would operate what's known as the porter switch, which is a key switch on the end of the coach, so you can lock the doors on that coach using the porter switch. Right, we're holding 75. We've just gone through Euston. Not too far to go. Not too far to go. Give some Desi horn action. Yeah, so we will be back. We're going with Wednesday night, guys, for the next one. That sounds like a pretty safe bet. I am going out on a route learning engine Thursday morning. We may or may not be taking Class 73s to Didcot. Look for a pathway, that's all I'm going to say. Should be an interesting move. Be Tunbridge, Acton, Didcot, back to Reading, Basingstoke. Well, we won't go into Reading, sorry. We'll go Didcot, Basingstoke, turn around, back to Tunbridge via Woking and Staines. Interesting working. Richard, who operates the doors, the guard or the driver? Depends on what type of traction it is. So, the type of train I drove, the driver would open, guard would shut. I know on like South Western Railway, it's guard opens and guard closes. If it's a driver-only train, it'd be driver open and driver closes. So it's very really down to the type of train and the company instructions. Northern Princess 73 is going to Rye on Wednesday. Northern Princess Production says 80X driver opens, guard shuts too. As we come around towards West Hampstead. Let's give it some power. Drive it like we stole it. Brake going into the tunnel for the 40. I should imagine this has got TPWS overspeed on it. And we're down quite early for that, plenty of time. Alex Fellow, if you reach 12 hours in shift due to delays, would you have to change drivers as soon as possible? As soon as practicable, Alex, yeah. So normally what would happen if you go over 12 hours, you'd have to complete like a risk assessment for fatigue. Kind of see where you are on the scale and whether you're safe to continue with your duty or not. But yeah, in an ideal world, it doesn't get to that stage. Oh, excuse me. Dear, oh dear. That's very rude of me, isn't it? To catch up on some Z's. It was a late night last night because we were out at that War of the Worlds concert, which if you ever get the chance to go and see it, it's very good. Right, 2 yellows and a B. We've got no AWS. I don't know whether coming into London Euston is an AWS gap, and that is typical, or whether it's just an omission on the game. If you know this area well, I'd be very interested to hear whether that is the case. And there we have one yellow. Oh, we're going to get an AWS for that. There's a magnet for it. Are we going to get a noise? There we go. This is just that last signal there. Interesting. Mel B, Northern Rail have the guard open and close on most units I've seen. Is the 158 capable of working driver-only operations? If you've got the right infrastructure on the platform, so you've got like mirrors or CCTV cameras on the platform so the driver can see the train, then I would have thought it would be, yeah. But that is purely guesswork, though. Red ahead, Whiskey Mike 308 signal. And that's not a good way to approach a red signal. But we are stopped. Objective complete. Brakes in full. DRA. Somewhere on the desk. There we go. Crikey. Couldn't even see it. And into neutral. That sounds like an 80 something or other. No, it's a Pendo. Pendolino. Yeah, I didn't know we could click things in 8cam. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Denied. No route available. Looks like we have a couple of minutes waiting. Does anybody know the speed set key on a 390? I don't know. You'd have to Google that one. Northern Princess Productions is pretty good with stuff like that. She might be able to help you. Tom, TFW's fleet is guard opens and closes doors always. Yeah, it's very different depending on operator. Saw guard opening on a South Western Railway 159 the other day. Peter Evans, so there's no system for measuring drivers' hours. I have to stick to tachograph limits, working time directly. Surely a train driver's hours should be strictly monitored. Yeah, they are, Peter. So you can only do so many hours a week, so many hours a day, so many hours in the seat, etc., etc. But it's a lot easier to monitor that. So you don't need a tachograph or anything like that because the company knows what train you're driving and where that train is and how long you've been driving it for. So it's much easier to keep track of it, and things are you keep track of it through the rostering process. I think it's sort of similar to airline pilots. It's all dealt with through rostering. But if you get to 12 hours and you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, you can't just say, right, that's it, I'm sitting down, I'm getting off this train. If there's been a fatality or some other major incident, you're going to at least get the train to the next train crew depot or the next place where someone can take it off of you. But yeah, the hours are monitored. What is the brown square between the tracks? That's a good question, Melby Trains. So that, if you're talking about that brown square there, that is the TPWS stop loop. So TPWS stands for Train Protection Warning System. Basically, if we go over that, the emergency brakes are going to come on and it'll be tea and biscuits with the manager. Because that's basically the sensor that's protecting that, associated with that red signal. John Moore, Pendolino sounds like a kitchen floor covering in Italy. Okay. Interesting. How much notice do you have to give for annual leave? Depends on the individual company, Alex. Normally, annual leave is rostered, so you'll be like in your work roster. You'll have an annual leave roster, so they will tell you when you're having your annual leave. You get so many floating days, but normally like you're kind of. So the way in my company, you get like 5 weeks annual leave, and then you get like 8 days for bank holidays. But because bank holidays form part of our normal working week, you can use those 8 days anywhere you want them, subject to availability. But in terms of that kind of 5 weeks annual leave, that is all rostered. So they will tell me when I'm having my annual leave, basically. So there'll be an annual leave roster. You do have the ability to swap. So if somebody else has got the week off that you want, you can swap with them. Or if there's vague leave roster, you can swap into those. But it's not a free for all. Okay, 1 yellow. We are not in on that. We need one more signal. So I should not be taking full power. That's a pretty bad thing to do. But Alex, it is different on every company. So that's just the companies I've worked for on the railway. That's my experience of them. But every company is different and has their own T's and C's. But Northern Princess Productions, your railway staff, I don't know if your annual leave is pretty much on the same basis where it's rostered. Like I say, you do get the floating days you can take as and when, providing there's availability. You normally get like at a depot, you're only permitted to have a certain number of drivers on annual leave at each time. So providing you haven't got more than that number, your annual leave will be accepted. And we are red ahead, red ahead, red ahead. AWS didn't fire off again. Interesting. Yeah, no worries, Alex. Happy to help. Typical Nathan, what's the driver do if the train breaks down or catches fire? Phones a taxi and goes home. Fire on a train is pretty serious. If you're on a passenger train, that's when you're going to get into like realms of train evacuation and stuff like that. If you're on a freight train, the only person you've got to worry about is yourself. But if I've got a freight train on the third wagon in, a fire on the third wagon in, I could potentially uncouple the train and move the locomotive away from it, if it's safe to do so. Whereas obviously on a proceed at restricted speed, 2 white lights, proceed as far as the line is clear. On a passenger train you can't do that. If you break down, there's only so much you can do, so there's like faults and failures you can go through. Platform 12, 2 whites. Faults and failures you can go through, that form part of your traction knowledge. You've got a mobile phone, you've got a radio in the cab, phone a fitter. They might be able to talk you through various bits and bobs that you can do. And then if ultimately you can't fix it, you need to get rescued by another loco or train. But you'll have to stay with it until the job's done. So you know that you might be, you know, you're due to finish work at 2:30. Your kid finishes school at 2 o'clock, and it's 1 o'clock, and your train's just broke down in the middle of nowhere, and you're now stuck there for 2 hours. So you know there are considerations like that sometimes with the job. Doesn't happen all the time, but stuff happens. So you know you can't guarantee being home when you. I mean, passengers moan about being late all the time. You know, we're driving the things. Imagine how we feel. We're late all the time. At least we're getting paid to be late. But saying that, the company I worked for previously, the first 20 minutes of any delay were in your own time. You didn't get paid for them. So, yeah, every company's different in the way they work. Yeah, Trainboy, no one posted a number. That's why. There were no numbers posted, not that come up on my chat anyway. I think we're just going to do a reveal anyway, Trainboy, once we stop. And there we are, we're coupling onto that unit. So we're going to stop 6 foot away, draw forward to 2 foot, and then attach. But with the kind of 3 mile an hour braking thing, it can be a little bit tricky to do with these. Make sure we're less than 10 at the TPWS loops. That's not 6 foot away. That was the That's the 3 mile an hour braking thing doing its thing. That is really irritating. And we can't go into an outside view, can we? Because it's... That makes it a lot more difficult with that kind of 3 mile an hour braking thing. So that's our 2 foot stop, and then onto the train. There we go, and we do a pull away test, so into reverse. It doesn't want to let me go into reverse for some reason. I'm in max brake, why won't you let me go into reverse? Pull away test. 5 second pull away test. We haven't pressed the couple button yet, so that's not supposed to happen. Okay. In reality, if you haven't pressed the couple button, you've got no electrical connection between the two units. So when you do your pull-away test, it'll only be your unit powering, so it's basically putting tension on the coupler. Once you press the couple button, you then get electrical continuity between the two units. So if you were then to power up, both units would move as expected. But obviously it's train sim. It's physics that aren't necessarily as we would expect them to be, shall we say. Lock doors, okay. Try the free cam. Oh, that one. That's a better shout. And there's a Virgin Trains Pendolino over on the left-hand side. Platinum medal. We're absolutely going to take that. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. So I'm going to put that back up on the screen there. So John, Chief Jack, Thomas Harrison, Charlie, Creation of Class 350 and 390, Manza, Bell, Bescott, Leica, Forks, and DTG have also helped out on this. So, yeah, really, really good PC mod. Unfortunately, it is only PC. If you are playing on console, it's just one of those annoying things. If you are playing on console, buy a PC. There we go. That's all I can say to that. On the Locomotive Location livery.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location. It's time to reveal today's Locomotive Livery Location.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for sending this one in and giving us clues. 2 people got this right. I know Pie Train was one of them. I didn't see the other one, Daniel. But yeah, LMS Black 57 Tunnel Junction. Tricky on the location there. Very tricky on the location. Almost expert level. But if you know, you know. If you've been there before, if it's local to you, if you know, you know. That's just how the game works. Thank you very much, Daniel, for sending this one in. Good picture buzz. And if you do want to send any pictures in for Locomotive Location livery, you can do via my social media channels, which are on the screen for you right now. Drop me a direct message on there. That's absolutely fine with your pictures. You can also follow me on there if you want to find out about my day-to-day life as a train driver. Rarely updated, but occasionally there's a picture or something that you might find interesting. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, consider subscribing. That would be absolutely awesome. And what's the other thing we've got to say? Discord server, we've got one of those. So if you want to come and talk about trains and life in general, aviation, buses, all that good stuff, you'll find an invitation link down in the description below. Northern Princess Productions, thank you very much for modding Trainboy, Alex, Daniel, Mel B, Typical Nathan, Tiger Head, everyone else, Peter Edmonds. Great to have you here tonight. Been a really good stream, really enjoyable. West Coast Mainline South. See you in the next one.